1 in 3 cars sold today will spend more time in a repair shop than on the open road within its first 5 years. That number is staggering, and it reveals just how massive the gap is between the best and worst automotive brands on the market. But what separates a truly reliable car from one that drains your wallet and your patience? The answer has been hiding in plain sight for decades, and the data tells a story most manufacturers would rather you never heard. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to count down the most reliable car brands of all time, backed by real reliability data, owner surveys, and decades of engineering history. You will discover which brands consistently outperform everyone else year after year, why some of the most expensive cars on earth are also the most likely to break down, and the one brand that has quietly dominated reliability rankings for so long that its record almost seems impossible. Stick around, because the most surprising name on this list is one you probably did not see coming. To understand reliability, you have to understand where the obsession with it began. In the early 20th century, cars broke down constantly. Roads were rough, materials were crude, and engineering tolerances were loose by modern standards. Reliability was not a selling point because nobody expected cars to be reliable in the first place. That mindset began to shift dramatically after World War II, when Japanese manufacturers entered the global automotive market with a completely different philosophy. They borrowed quality control principles from American statistician W. Edwards Deming, who had been largely ignored in his home country, and turned those principles into a manufacturing revolution. The concept was simple: build it right the first time, every time. Do not rely on inspections at the end of the production line. Build quality into every single step of the process. This philosophy, known as total quality management, became the foundation upon which the most reliable car brands in history were constructed. By the 1970s, the difference was undeniable. American drivers, frustrated by fuel shortages and increasingly expensive domestic vehicles that needed constant repairs, started looking at Japanese imports. What they found surprised them. These smaller, less powerful cars simply kept running. No mysterious electrical gremlins. No transmission failures at 60,000 miles. No engine seals dissolving after 3 years. Just reliable, consistent transportation. And that reputation, once earned, proved almost impossible to shake. Now let us get into the brands themselves, starting with the foundation of the reliability conversation, Toyota. No discussion of automotive reliability is complete without acknowledging Toyota's extraordinary track record. In J.D. Power's Vehicle Dependability Study, which measures problems per 100 vehicles after 3 years of ownership, Toyota has placed in the top 3 more times than any other brand over the past 3 decades. The Toyota Camry has been the best-selling car in America for over 20 consecutive years, and a significant part of that success is built entirely on reputation for dependability. The Toyota Corolla has sold over 50 million units worldwide, making it the best-selling car in automotive history. That does not happen by accident. It happens because owners trust the product and come back for it again and again. The Land Cruiser, which Toyota discontinued for the American market in 2021 before bringing it back, became legendary in the Middle East and Africa precisely because fleets of them would run for 30 years in the harshest conditions on Earth with minimal maintenance. Stories of Land Cruisers reaching 500,000 miles on original engines are not myths. They are documented. But here is what nobody talks about when it comes to Toyota. Their reliability is not purely a product of engineering genius. It is a product of deliberate restraint. Toyota famously resists adopting new technology until that technology has been proven and refined by others. While competitors rushed to market with cutting-edge features that inevitably had teething problems, Toyota waited, watched, and implemented only what had already been de-risked. That conservative philosophy cost them in the short term on innovation headlines, but earned them something far more valuable over decades: a reputation that money cannot buy. Now consider Lexus, Toyota's luxury division, which launched in 1989 and immediately set a new standard for what an upscale vehicle could be. In its very first year, Lexus ranked first in J.D. Power's initial quality study, beating every European luxury competitor that had decades more heritage. It then proceeded to top that study for years on end. Lexus achieved something that seemed almost paradoxical in the automotive world: it proved that luxury and reliability were not mutually exclusive. German luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, while building extraordinary machines with incredible performance and refinement, consistently struggled in long-term dependability surveys. The complexity that creates the premium driving experience also creates more potential failure points. Lexus took the opposite approach. Use proven mechanical underpinnings, keep the complexity manageable, and deliver the luxury through material quality and refinement rather than through layers of experimental technology. Honda deserves equal attention in this conversation. Honda's engine technology has long been considered among the most refined in mass-market automotive manufacturing. The company's VTEC engine system, introduced in the 1980s, delivered both performance and efficiency while maintaining Honda's reputation for longevity. Consumer Reports, which has been tracking owner-reported reliability for decades, consistently ranks Honda near the top, with the Honda Civic and Honda Accord among the most recommended used vehicles year after year. Owners regularly report these vehicles reaching 200,000 miles without major mechanical intervention beyond standard maintenance. That is not a marketing claim. That is what the long-term ownership data shows. Mazda is perhaps the most underrated name in this conversation, and it deserves far more recognition than it typically receives. In recent years, Mazda has topped Consumer Reports' reliability rankings outright, beating Toyota, Honda, and every other brand on the list. Their approach mirrors Toyota's philosophy of restraint and refinement, but applied to a sportier, more driver-focused product. Mazda's Skyactiv engine technology was developed with long-term durability as a primary engineering requirement, not an afterthought. The result is a lineup of vehicles that handles beautifully, looks genuinely premium, and costs significantly less to own over a 5-year period than nearly any competitor. Reliability analysts have started calling Mazda the quiet achiever of the automotive world, and the data backs that description completely. Buick is the name that surprises people, and we promised you a surprise. For the past several years, Buick has consistently ranked among the top 2 or 3 brands in J.D. Power's Vehicle Dependability Study. A General Motors brand, deeply American in its roots, competing shoulder to shoulder with Toyota and Lexus on long-term reliability. How? The answer is manufacturing discipline. Buick's production facilities, particularly those supplying the Chinese market where the brand is enormously popular, have adopted rigorous quality control standards that filter back into vehicles sold everywhere. The result is a brand that over-delivers on dependability relative to its price point and its reputation. Most consumers still associate Buick with their grandparents' generation. The reliability data tells a very different story about what Buick has quietly become. The real-world implications of choosing a reliable car brand extend far beyond the annoyance of a breakdown. The American Automobile Association estimates that the average vehicle breakdown costs the owner between $500 and $600 per incident, not including lost time or the psychological stress of unexpected mechanical failure. Over a 10-year ownership period, the difference in total cost of ownership between a highly reliable vehicle and an average one can exceed $15,000. That is a car payment. That is a vacation. That is a significant portion of a year's worth of retirement savings. Reliability is not a luxury feature. It is a financial decision with real consequences that compound over years of ownership. When you look at the complete picture, a clear pattern emerges. The brands that dominate reliability rankings share several traits. They prioritize proven engineering over flashy innovation. They invest heavily in manufacturing quality control. They build vehicles with fewer complex systems that can fail. And they listen obsessively to owner feedback, using real-world data to eliminate problems before they become patterns. The brands that struggle in reliability surveys tend to share the opposite characteristics: early adoption of unproven technology, complex interconnected systems, and a prioritization of performance metrics or perceived prestige over long-term dependability. The most reliable car brands of all time did not earn that title through marketing campaigns or celebrity endorsements. They earned it the same way every lasting reputation is earned, by doing the work, day after day, vehicle after vehicle, for decades. Before you go, if you learned something new today, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe to AutoVision Daily for a new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.